The news of the day, George MacIntyre picking Tennessee over Alabama and LSU, and that's not really a surprise, Matt. You saw it in his video. Like, George has had an affinity for Tennessee since he was a little kid. Grew up wearing a lot of Tennessee gear. His mom went to Tennessee. His sister goes to Tennessee. Had several family members go to Knoxville, and a huge gift for the Vols.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's, you know, the most important thing about this commitment with George MacIntyre, other than getting an elite player at the most important position on the field, is you also now get an elite recruiter that can start to build this class in January, right?
And when you look at this team, the way it's constructed with Josh Heupel, quarterback's important. It was important with Hendon Hooker. It was important with Nico Iamaleava. It'll obviously be important with Jake Merklinger and now George MacIntyre. And George, I think, because he's in the footprint, has a chance to have a greater impact in recruiting than Nico did because he knows more of the kids inside the Tennessee footprint, which is Georgia, which is Alabama, which is Mississippi, Florida, North Carolina, South Carolina, and Virginia.
Yeah, and when you look at George MacIntyre as well, and you look at these teams that picked Tennessee over Alabama, LSU, those types of programs, he's been around those playmakers. He's got a good relationship with Jamie French. He's been around Caleb Cunningham a bunch, and then the in-state guys, Cameron Sparks, Ethan Utley. He knows all of those guys. And then obviously he's going to be in the ear of David Sanders and Josh Petty, some guys that he's made good relationships with over time.
George was on campus this past weekend. He will be on campus a lot. I expect the MacIntyres to roll to town quite a bit. Obviously, it's easy to make the trip when your daughter's up there for mom and dad, and your sister's up there for George, and couple it with a recruiting function to be able to go up and see players when they're on campus, whether it be for spring practice, all the way through summer camps. I expect George MacIntyre on campus a lot at Tennessee in the coming months.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it can't be overlooked. His sister being on campus, he's so comfortable there. There was a point in time there in October when George MacIntyre was in town. There were no coaches around. It was just a family. And you could kind of see they were taking it all in. And I think at that point, that's when the needle started to move even more toward Tennessee in George MacIntyre's mind. That affinity that you're talking about started to unfold a little bit more for him. It always just kind of felt like he had to get there. I think that was a turning point for it. And now it just makes it that much easier to continue going back.
I've said for months, best relationship was with Josh Heupel. It was just the hangout sessions. Those two really jived well. I think the relationship with he and Joey Halls, they got stronger and stronger as things went along. But for me, it was always Heupel. It was always the ability to just kind of connect with him, and they just were buddies. They just hung out. They just, it was more than just coach recruit, right? Like, I mean, it was just kind of talking ball. Similar, I think, personalities. Like, both are kind of laid back, real chill type guys, and I think they just connected well.
Yeah, and I think when you talk about Josh Heupel a lot and you look at him, one of the things that recruits talk about the most is his competitive nature. George, the ultimate competitor, star out here on the basketball court. They relate over that. Everybody says Heupel's got the best jump shot on campus. I think those are some things, that over time, it's just like you said, the hangout sessions, they've connected well, and I think that's the reason he had the best relationship with Josh Heupel in this process.
Big news on this Monday. Tennessee gets their quarterback for the 2025 class. It's George MacIntyre here at Brentwood Academy.